the unconventional leaders pre-plan for next year. It's that there is a time of year, I call it fall, and that is a perfect time to be starting to plan for the next year and starting to add some clarity as to what you learned in the existing year, to start to pull out the learnings and the teachings and those types of things. So when it comes to that mental pre-planning, I've got a few things to go over. Leading better starts with a commitment to excellence in 3 main areas. Number 1, knowing yourself. I talk about that a lot. You need to know yourself to make better decisions, to lead better, to have more confidence about it. It's important. Number 2, serving others. It's just part of leadership. It's part of why you're doing leadership. It is serving others in different capacities. I've learned everybody sees that differently, frames that differently, has different language around that. That's part of it. And number 3 is driving meaningful results. You are in this because you like the results, good or bad. Unfortunately, some of them might not be overly functional and might be what's called dysfunctional, but you are in this and a leader because of the results. So understanding that and being clear about the more functional side of that, or how to shift something out of less than functional to highly functional. And in my article, if you go over to my blog, what I really focused on for this topic was about clarity, courage, and consistency. So I go over those 3 main things. And then I also have some talking about, and through the lens of clarity, courage, and consistency, I call them the big 3 C's. And I call them the big 3 C's because they apply to most circumstances, most problems, most searches for solutions, those types of things. You're in search of clarity. You're in search of some courage to take on or tackle something, and you are looking for some consistency in follow through, consistency in not seeing that problem again. There's a consistency factor in most things. Number 1 thing I want to point out, there's 3 that I have in that article, but knowing yourself and your role as a leader, and being honest about your weakness. One of the greatest things you can bring there is transparency about your weaknesses. You have them. I'm not saying dwell on them and not point them out like massively, but own them when they happen, and share what you're learning from them. Boy, I let that one get away from me. Here's what I'm learning about that. I should have brought, a few of you in a little sooner. I should have communicated more about X. That, when I'm talking about that, that's part of the authenticity and transparency. That's necessary from you for your team. When it comes to number 2, serve others relentlessly, I always think about the number 1 out of that whole section is model the behavior that you want to see. So often I see people leading their families, leading their team from a place of just do this one way, but I'll be over here doing it another way. Nobody hears anything you said. They see and they experience everything you do. So remember that. Are you modeling that? And if you're not, that's part of the breakdown and dysfunction that can easily, once it gets tweaked, you'll be surprised. It'll fix a whole bunch of things. I also talk about focusing on the results that matter. And that the number 1 thing out of there is being really clear about the goal. Anytime you're delegating, anytime you're even dealing with something, can you speak the goal? Have you spoken the goal? And if you've spoken the goal and it's really clear and you've shared it enough, everybody else in your organization should be able to share the goal too. I should be able to walk in at any time or tap any employee's shoulder and say, hey, tell me what the big goal is for this year. If they can't answer that, you haven't talked about it enough. You haven't told enough people. You have not engaged them enough. And that's really important as leaders. Highly important. Another is this one's so easy though. I say lead with courage, but you're already leading with courage. If you're running a company, if you're an entrepreneur, even if you're a solopreneur, if you are top in top management, you are already leading with courage. I already know that. You're showing up day after day. It's not always easy. It can be lonely. I got that part. The thing so often people forget, and this is a great, great gift of being an unconventional leader, is the fact, particularly if you have ADHD, dyslexia, or autism, in particular of those, you have incredible resilience. You don't quite even know how resilient you are. I promise you, I'm teaching most of my clients like how resilient they are and helping them to see that. In saying that, you need to have contagious resilience. That means you are resilient. You need to teach your team that resilience. You need to demonstrate that resilience. You need to learn to talk about that resilience, because that resilience comes from a place and a conversation that's going on in your head. You need to pull parts of it out and share it with others. It will make a huge difference. You'll just be utterly surprised. Leadership isn't a title. It's not a destination, and you know this. It's a daily practice. It's a practice we do for ourselves that flows out of us in other directions. It's about showing up. It's about learning. It's about striving to be better every single day. And here's the truth. You don't have to do it alone. Surround yourself with mentors, coaches, and peers who challenge and inspire you to grow. So when you are mapping out your 2026, as I am talking about, or your next year, in case you're watching this later on, just recognize if you can't put on a short list your mentors, coaches, and peers that you're talking to about what you're working on in the next year, your list is too short. And you need to bring more people into that. I promise you, the things you are working on will get better, will move faster, when you are bringing in more support for you in your leadership. Thank you so much for hanging out with me. I love your comments. I love your engagement. I really enjoy your stories. I would love to hear more from you. Please feel free to comment below. Share this with others and sit down with a piece of paper or your favorite app and start to map out 2026. What would be amazing if it happened in 2026? Maybe there's just one thing in there. Once you list it all out, that boy, if this one thing tweaked just a little bit, it would shift the whole thing. I want next year to be incredible for you. I want this year to wrap up and for you to feel how amazing it is. For that to happen, you need to start engaging in it. That's the only way it happens. I'm JoyGenea, unconventional leadership coach and international neurodiversity coach, helping those different thinkers find the right systems, processes, and understand themselves so much better that they can lead from a whole new place of incredible. Thanks. Bye now.